What's going on, guys? Broken Machine here. You are not going to be able to take the smile off my face right now. It's almost like DICE EA watched my video several years ago and like, yep, that sounds good. Let's go with it. I am hyped. I am happy. A new Battlefield is on its way. 64 players, modern setting, no specialists, classes return. This could be awesome, and I hope I'm right. The image that we have so far doesn't say a huge amount, but there is an interview with Vince Zampella, top guy at Battlefield EA. He is, if Battlefield is going to turn around, it's probably him who's going to make it happen. So the image we have, people online are speculating that it's set in Italy. It is concept art, so we don't know if this campaign, single player, multiplayer, we don't know right now. Can confirm air combat in the top left there, naval warfare, flames on the right, the woodland is on fire. Is this a nod to Battlefield 5 Firestorm, their battle royale in that game, or is it not? Maybe it's just part of the story that's going on here. I don't know. The section in the middle and towards the left is very much left untouched. Is this the area perhaps we would be fighting in if it's in a multiplayer map? Who knows? It is looking very beautiful though, very Battlefield 3, very Battlefield 4, and I am all for it. Bottom left there, I think that's just a graphic. It could be indicating something happening over there, but I'm going to lean more into it just being a graphic. It's very BF3, very Bad Company 2, BF4 cover focus kind of art there, and it looks stunning. Honestly, if this is what the game is going to look like, I am happy. That is beautiful. So, on the decision to return to the modern era, Vince Zampella says, I mean, if you look back to the peak or the pinnacle of Battlefield, it's that Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 era where everything was modern. And I think we have to get back to the core of what Battlefield is. I agree, 100%. And do that amazingly well. And then we'll see where it goes from there. But I think for me, it's that peak of Battlefieldness in that Battlefield 3 and 4 days. So I think it's nostalgic for players, for me, for the teams even. Those are kind of the heyday. Although I would say 1942 also. I'm all for it. Modern Battlefields, I said it many years ago, BF3, BF4 era, that would be beautiful for me. If they could kind of have the gameplay elements of BF1 and BF5 that really succeeded, especially like the flow of conquest. I feel like that game, BF1 and BF5, did it really well, and BF3 did it really well on maps like Grand Bazaar, Sen Crossing. If you could take those maps, take the BF4 gunplay and put them together, oh, that would be beautiful. Talking of 64 players, he says, yeah, the 128 player, did it make it more fun? I'm going to say no. In some ways it did, but on the whole, nah, it wasn't right. Doing the number for the sake of the number doesn't make any sense. I agree on that too. We're testing everything around what's the most fun. So like you said, the maps, once they get to a certain scale, become different. That is a perfect way to describe it. It's a different play space, and I think you have to design around that. Yeah, 100%. 100%. The maps were too bigger, and it felt like they weren't really properly tested. And he goes on to say, so we are designing something that is more akin to previous Battlefields. 100% happy with that. And he goes on to say, I'd rather have nice, dense, really nice, well-designed play spaces. Some of them are really good. I can't wait for you to see them. That right there gives me so much good feelings and hope about the next game. Having someone at the top there saying something like that, nice, well-designed play spaces, dense as well, dense. Not too compact, not too put together, but dense enough. You know, multiple flanks, multiple angles, actual cover and ways to conceal yourself. That would be perfect. Talking of classes, so I wasn't there for 2042. I don't know what the rationale was, but for me, it's like the team tried something new. You have to applaud that effort. And we do. They did try something new. It wasn't quite right. It needed more testing and tweaking. It probably is better with having no specialists at all. But, you know, DICE, EA, and all the teams, they do need to try new things. BF1, we had operations, and I would argue without that, I don't think the game would have succeeded so well, and I think it's one of the modes that's needed going forward. You need that story-driven elements. I've talked about this many times. But I genuinely don't believe FPS games are going to stick around if they don't have more to them. We've seen the decline in Call of Duty, 6v6, Halo, these kind of things, and I genuinely believe, we need more to games. And I don't mean just Operation story in like BF1 where it was all the World War I story going on. I mean the player's story, their actual, how the map unfolds, how they fit into the bigger picture. And I think Operations is one of those new things that really, you know, kind of got hold of that and did it really well. So yeah, good news there. I think you know, Specialist will not be coming back. He says not everybody liked it, but you got to try things. So classes are kind of at the core of Battlefield, and we're going back to that. They are. It's so important to have classes for balance purposes as well, and just being able to read the game a little bit more. You know, if you see a guy with a certain I guess silhouette, you could say, you know, oh, they're going to be using this weapon. If I chase them, they're probably going to have these gadgets. You know, it's more readable. It makes the game more interesting, more depth to it, more fun. And going on to say they don't want a repeat of 2042. Carefully stressing that Battlefield 2042 wasn't a failure of a game, despite not doing as well as they had hoped, and the development team really spent a lot of time learning how to adapt it and getting things back. And he goes on to say he doesn't want a repeat of the experience it had with 2042. Talking of EA, we want it to be good out of the gate. Honestly, it has to be. You know, it can be a lovely meal. Maybe the bun is a little bit burnt on the edges, but as long as everything else is pretty good, I think people are going to be happy. They have to get it right. You know, we've had 2042, a failure. Some people would say that, some people wouldn't. We can't have that again. Either way, whichever side of the fence you sit on, we can't have that again. 2042 is a much better game now. The teams have obviously learned a lot from it, and that gives me positive, you know, faith in the teams. You know, they've turned 2042 around in many ways. They've been open, what they've learned and all this kind of stuff, and that gives me hope for the next game. You know, and 2042 has been like a bit of a testing ground, I guess, for the next title. So that gives me hope. He has been quite vague on what the next game actually entails. Yeah, it's definitely getting bigger on Battlefield. What does that mean? I'm not too sure. It's going in and expanding what Battlefield is. We have to have the core. That's really important. The core Battlefield players know what they want. They've been with us forever. They've been amazing supporters. We need to earn their trust back and get them back on our side. And then it's expanding out and getting more players into the universe and seeing what we can do. So when you want a different experience, you don't have to leave Battlefield. You can experience more things within the Battlefield universe. So we're expanding the offerings that we are giving. What does that mean? More modes, more experiences. Will we see the return of Battlefield 5 Firestorm, their Battle Royale? Will we see the return of Portal? That is a good question. I think Portal had so many amazing things about it, especially the tutorial kind of stuff that you could do, learning how to use certain weapons, fighting against bots in certain areas. Lots of potential with that. I do hope Portal returns. And yeah, Battlefield does need to expand. A lot of people in the Battlefield 5 days were, you know, saying that Firestorm Battle Royale is going to ruin the game, all this kind of stuff, and I understand the concerns. I genuinely do. But I think in these modern times, video games, they need to be extended. They need to have more things about them. And can Battlefield survive without extended experiences like Battle Royale? Is that a possibility? Should they go all in on multiplayer? Should they do, you know, if there was a Battle Royale, should they do what Call of Duty does, where they drop the multiplayer and then X amount of months later, here's the BR? And is that the way to go? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, guys. Obviously, I've been playing multiplayer for many, many years. Firestorm arrived. I really enjoyed it. It had lots of problems. It wasn't perfect, no doubt about that. But with over like 500 wins in it, you know, I just couldn't let it go. It was so good, so good, and it's a real shame to see it in its current state. Genuinely, I would love to see a Battlefield Battle Royale. I think they could really honestly, Call of Duty Warzone, as much as I love it and appreciate it, especially as a streamer and content creator, there could be so many better things in this space, and I think Battlefield is one that could do it. With Vince Zampella at the forefront, you know, I think it could happen. But I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Again, multiplayer, love multiplayer, but I do think we need more. Talking of confidence in the series, he goes on to say, if you look at the best Battlefields, they've outsold some Call of Duties and other way around, back and forth. So I think absolutely it can. I mean, is that what we're going for? I mean, not directly, but always. We're not looking to take down Call of Duty. We are making something that's different, and we are making something that's us. But yeah, it definitely has the possibility. Can Battlefield take on Call of Duty? I mean, if you look at the numbers of Battlefield 1, it certainly could. That game sold, what was the last time? 25 million, 26 million copies, something like that. Man, if you genuinely could make a game as good, BF3, BF4 with a mix of BF1, I genuinely think, yeah, it could absolutely dominate the charts. I don't see why it couldn't. I genuinely don't see why it couldn't, especially if you had new experiences like a Battle Royale added on top of it. Genuinely, you know, again, you know, I understand people's concerns, but yeah, come on, multiplayer and other experiences is the only way these games are going to survive these days. I don't think people just want to jump into multiplayer and just run about shooting each other. Again, we need those new experiences like BF1 operations and expand those, extend those, improve those. There's so many things BF1 operations got wrong. BF5 kind of carried that on, and 2042 did as well. You know, if they get it right, oh, it could be beautiful. Operations, man. I mean, look at the way YouTube functions. You know, most of the stuff that gets so many views is operations. It really is. All the streaks are in operations. Majority of them, anyway. 2042 is a bit different with Conquest. Anyway, going off on a bit of a tangent there. Where are we? And talking of transmedia, other opportunities, there are definitely opportunities there. He goes on to say, we've had some discussions, but it's not our core business. To me, that stuff, when it works, is super cool. Like Arcane was great, but there's other ones that haven't worked as well, and I won't name those. But you know what they are. He says, it's a marketing opportunity of getting your franchise out there, and it's not core to what we are doing right now. So we are game first. That has to work, and if the right opportunity comes, absolutely we'll look at it. And do we take meetings all the time? Sure, but it's not the core business. So it's that balance. I would love to see it. Right now, we are not looking at anything like that for Battlefield. That also gives me hope. They're focusing just on the game, none of the nonsense surrounding it. Should it arrive in years? I don't know. A movie, anime, TV shows, I'm all for it. Got no issue with it, as long as the game is good. Just bring a solid game. I am dying for a fresh Battlefield experience, especially in the current FPS market. It feels like these games, large 64-player, big combat kind of games, just not doing that well right now. We've got Hell Let Loose, lots of players on that, beautiful game, love it, but it's not Battlefield. It's its own thing, and it should stay its own thing. We need something in between Call of Duties and the Hell Let Looses, and that space just isn't really being occupied right now, and Battlefield needs to steal it and absolutely dominate it. I would love that. When is the next Battlefield releasing? There are signs, they say, of EA ramping up for 2025. They entered full production earlier this year. According to Zampella, EA is playtesting the game every week, and they have excuse me, and they have plans to launch a community program next year, though it's unclear if it's a closed beta or something else. We have a program that we are going to announce next year, getting more community in, because that's kind of the core of what we have to do. Is it going to be a CTE? If you didn't play the CTE, it was a community test environment, a different build of the game, upcoming maps, upcoming stuff going on in Battlefield 4. BF1 had some stuff as well. Should it be back? I would like it to be back. I think that would be awesome. Should they show the game too early, or should they just go with like a beta and then go from there? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. You know, once we see the beta, that is pretty much the final game. A lot of people are down in the comments, they're going to say, oh no, it's just a beta. No. The beta these days, come on. We know, you've just seen Black Ops 6. The game isn't going to change much. Maybe the weapon balance, maybe damage models, all this kind of stuff will change a little bit. But that is the game. That is the core. That's how it's pretty much going to play. Will it be on the Switch too? They haven't announced it, and it doesn't exist, he says. Can't really comment on that, but I would say absolutely. Nintendo, along with Microsoft and Sony, are great partners for us, are important to us on our business at EA at Respawn. Would love to see it. Battlefield on Nintendo, sign me up. I'd totally play that. So yeah, they love them as partners. They've been great to us, they say, and he loves the Switch, just like me. I would love to have a game of Mario Kart against this guy someday. Maybe, we'll see. Anyway, it's that's all the news. Next Battlefield. I'm hyped already. I can't wait. I genuinely can't wait. I need a new Battlefield game, guys. BF1, love streaming it here and there. BF5 too. I'm not streaming 2042 for a little bit. I've kind of taken a break. But, you know, as soon as they full send, I'll be there full sending. This machine is not going anywhere. So, yes. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you soon. Appreciate you checking out this video today. Take it easy, guys. Catch you later.